Hello, gorgeous NFA money mamas. I'm so psyched you're here today. I have a really awesome episode for you. We're going to talk about the Zone of Manifestation Business Scaling Roadmap for Women Entrepreneurs. And I'm going to treat this almost like a little mini course. And so something you're going to want to do immediately is you see at the top of the screen, the womenentrepreneurpodcast.com. Go there and scroll down the page just a little bit and you'll find a spot that says get additional business scaling resources, and you're going to see the roadmap there. And what you're going to want to download that and follow along with me, whether you're on YouTube or the podcast. If you're on YouTube, you're at NFA Money. If you're on the podcast, you're at the Women Entrepreneur Podcast.com. And so you're going to want this PDF because I am going to break down so much awesome information about where you're at on your business scaling journey. And I'm doing this because I myself and the people that I've worked with, I see patterns of the 4 zones that they get into when they build their businesses. And so I'm going to give you the symptoms of zones 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then the action steps that you need to get to the ultimate zone, which is zone number 4, which is your zone of manifestation. And this is where business is flowing and you feel good and you're making more and more money and clients are coming to you easily and you just feel awesome because you're living in your zone of manifestation. And so this whole episode today is going to walk you through those 4 zones and help you identify where you're at and then what you need to do to get to zone number 4. And I call your zone of manifestation your money magnet zone. Oh yeah, I'm a money magnet. Everything I touch turns to gold. That's the zone we want you to get to because this is where you feel good. Okay, so don't forget, go to this website up here, the womenentrepreneurpodcast.com. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me pointing. If you're listening, just go to the womenentrepreneurpodcast.com. It's also going to be in the description on the show notes if you want to just click it there and download this PDF so you can follow along with me. If you're on YouTube, I'm going to do a screen share so you can see it there too, but you're still probably going to want it because there's a ton of words on some of these slides that I prepared for you. So you're going to want to be able to follow along. All right, so let me get everything set up here. Let's see, let me get rid of this banner so you can just see me. And then I'm gonna get rid of this slider at the bottom. There we go. Okay. So here we go. Here's an overview of the 4 zones. So the first zone is the Manic-Imposter zone. The second zone is the Overdeliver and Undercharge zone. And most entrepreneurs get stuck here. This is where I see about 80% of people being stuck in the Overdeliver and Undercharge zone. And then number 3 is the value yourself more zone. This is where you're starting to move out of over delivering and undercharging, and you're starting to shift your mindset, and you're starting to make more money. And then you get into the ultimate awesome zone, the zone of manifestation. And so let's break each of these down. In zone number 1, there we go. Your money mindset belief is going to be, I am bursting with excitement and ideas about building my business, and I simultaneously have no idea what I'm doing. So this is the Manic-Imposter zone. And I'm going to go through each of the symptoms of each of these, but I'm just going to give you a quick mindset reframe. So if you're stuck in this first zone, this is most likely the zone where you're just starting your business and you have a lot of mania and you're really excited. And I want you to start focusing your mindset. And I call these money mindset reframes. You're going to start focusing it on, I am committed to doing daily mindset work to reduce my imposter syndrome doubts and build my confidence as an entrepreneur. This is the most important thing you can do in this zone. And I'll give you the exact action steps to break it down. First, I'm going to give you kind of the broad overview, and then we're going to get down into the real details and nitty gritty so you can understand where you're at and what to do to move forward. In zone number 2, the over deliver and undercharge zone. And again, like I said, this is where most entrepreneurs get stuck, sometimes for years. And I don't want you to stay stuck there. I want you to get to your zone of manifestation. So listen here and see if this is you. Your money mindset belief will be, if I help everyone and have tons of offerings and don't charge too much, I'll get lots of clients. I hear this time and time again. People go like, oh my God, I got to help everyone. And I don't want to say no to anyone. Often people are bartering in this zone and giving things away for free. And they have a ton of offerings because they don't want to miss out on anyone and they want to help everyone. And then often they're not charging very much. So they're over delivering and undercharging. And if this is you, you want to practice the money mindset reframe to go to, I am ready and willing to narrow my focus and play with increasing my prices. And I use the word play instead of say working on increasing your prices because it's really important to play. In this zone, you want to start to loosen up your beliefs around doing it the way you've always done it, because if you do that, you're going to keep always getting what you've always gotten, which is burnout. And I'll dig into this more after we give this overview. So in number 3, this is where you're starting to move out of over-delivering and undercharging, and you're going to value yourself more. Okay, so this is the value yourself more zone. So listen up if this is you. If you have the money mindset belief, oh my God, I'm no longer willing to work this hard. I surrender. I got to up my prices and free up time. Okay, if you're starting to feel that way or you're in that means you're in the value yourself more zone. Awesome, because this is you shifting out of burnout, overwhelm, and giving way too much away and giving too much value away for not enough money. And that's awesome. Then you want to keep moving forward in this zone by reframing to, I am in the process of owning my value. I'll charge more and drop, automate, or delegate everything away that's not aligned with doing exactly what I love to do. And so in this zone, I think of you stepping into your zone of genius more, and you're starting to go, screw this. There's no way that I'm going to keep working this hard and not making the money I want to make and doing everything myself and feeling overloaded. Instead, I'm going to start to drop, automate, and delegate things that I don't enjoy doing. And so this is usually a later stage in your business. And if you're in this zone, awesome. That means you're on your way to zone number 4, which is the, my scroll is really fast, the zone of manifestation. And this is a term I came up with where I go, okay, when you're humming in your business, it's like the flow state and you feel really freaking good and you're like a money magnet and people are just coming to you. You're waking up to emails and you're getting calls and you're getting referrals and you're getting new opportunities that all feel aligned with everything that you love to do. That's your zone of manifestation. You're living in your zone of genius. You're doing what you love to make money. And your money mindset belief here is going to be, OM goddess, it's finally working. Woohoo. People are coming my way easily. I'm enjoying my business and I'm making more and more money. And if this is you, I want you to keep reframing your mindset to, I love living in my zone of manifestation, making easy money as a master of myself and my time. And the reason I say this is because you can slip out of your zone of manifestation. And so you want to keep focusing your attention on feeling awesome in your zone of manifestation and staying there. And I'll teach you how to do it today. So, all right, so that's the overview. So right now, if you can identify which zone you're in, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and again, it's number 1, the Manic-Imposter zone, number 2, the over-deliver and undercharge zone, number 3, the value yourself more zone, and number 4, the zone of manifestation. Go ahead and either take a screenshot and give me your zone on Instagram, or if you're watching on YouTube, share your zone here if you already identify where you're at. And then let's break down the symptoms and action steps so you can, if you're going, I'm not quite sure where I'm at yet, you'll really know after I break these symptoms down. Okay, so in number 1, the Manic-Imposter zone. Again, like I said, your money mindset belief is going to be, I am bursting with excitement and ideas and about building my business, and I have no idea what I'm doing. You're going to have startup mania. I'm going to describe this here. This was when I started my business. Oh my God. I had so many nights where I just wouldn't even sleep. I would be just up all night, excited about terms. And, I was coming up with my why, and I was thinking about who I wanted to work with. And so I'd be about to go to sleep, and then my brain would go, oh, this is the why statement. And then I'd get up and I'd type it on my phone. And I still have this on my phone in my notes. It was like, it's like pages long in my notes of ideas about building my business. And I was on fire, alive, inspired, excited. And simultaneously, there's a huge learning curve in this zone. You don't know anything about building a business usually, unless you've built businesses before. And so there's a huge learning curve. And this combination of having that startup mania excitement mixed with a huge learning curve often leads to imposter syndrome, because you go like, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure what to charge. I don't know what products and programs and services to create. I don't know how to build a business. I don't know how to network. I mean, my first networking event I went to, I remember it was at the Chamber of Commerce. Actually, no, that's not true. It was at a women entrepreneur like round table. And I remember sitting there and everyone in the community was like, okay, it's time for your 30-second commercial. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I just sat there, and I was still pretty shy. I had gotten a lot better through, I was a professor at the university and I taught over 2,000 students. So I'd gotten a lot better with public speaking. But it was interesting because in that public speaking way with students, I was in the position of authority already automatically. When I went to this group of other women who, from my perspective, totally knew what they were doing in business, I was like terrified. I was like, oh my God. So I was like shaking internally. My heart was racing, and I was like, they asked if I wanted to go first. And I was like, no. I was like, let everyone else go. And, I'd love to hear what everyone else has to say. I just BS'd my way through it. And so as I'm listening to them go around the circle and tell their 30-second commercials, I'm like, oh God, I got to construct something really fast in my mind here. I have no idea. I didn't have a business name. I just knew like, I want to coach people and I want to help them with these things I've been learning. And so, I stood up and I don't remember what I said. I said something about, wanting to help people transform, and whatever came out of my mouth was enough to have them actually email me later and say, you can't come into the group because I was too similar to a coach that was already there. And so they kicked me out. That was interesting. And hey, I kept going. I went to more networking events and I just kept breaking through that imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome is going to feel like you don't know what you're doing. You feel like a fraud. You're afraid. You have doubts and fears and uncertainties. It gets you stuck in this symptom of like hiding behind perfectionism, hiding behind making a lot of content without putting it out there. One of the ways that this showed up for me was in really hyper focusing on the details of building my website, which was on WordPress at the time, and it stunk. And I would change the font 50 times and just way too detailed. And it was because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know what else to do. And I didn't have a business coach at the time. I was on food stamps. And so I was learning everything I could online for free, but I didn't know what to do really. And so I just was going for it, and also battling every day that imposter syndrome of going like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's okay if you're in this stage, you'll break through. Keep hanging out with me. I'll help you. And this is I think everybody goes through this. And one thing I've noticed as we walk through these 4 zones is that when you start a new product, program, or do a rebrand, you go back to zone number 1 and you get really excited again and you feel like you don't know what you're doing, but you move through the zones a lot faster because now you have more experience. And so in the first round of doing a business, I noticed people getting stuck here for a little while because it's your first go around and you don't totally know what you're doing, and it takes time to build some confidence. So one of the symptoms in this manic imposter zone number 1 is that you're going to have inconsistent results. You're going to take a lot of action and learn everything you can, and yet you're not going to be making a ton of money. In fact, you're probably spending more money than you're making in this zone. And that's why we don't want this zone to last too long, because you got to start making money and you want to have ROI be high, your return on investment of your time, your energy, and your money. And so you don't want to stay stuck here too long. And you also, it's okay just to acknowledge, hey, it's okay to get stuck here. That mania is fun. It's exciting. It's like, oh my God, it's just so much inspiration. And you're like, yes, I'm on fire. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. One thing that does come up here is a feeling of impatience and frustration because you have unrealistic expectations. And when I say unrealistic expectations, especially if you're on social media a lot and perusing other people's posts, you're going to compare yourself negatively to them and think, but they're there, they got there fast, they did this, and you're not knowing all the stuff that went behind the scenes that caused them to be in whatever phase of business development they're in. And so you tend to look at theirs and go, oh my God, I should be getting there faster. One of the ways this showed up for me was that one of my main mentors had been in business for 40 years and I was modeling my website after his. And I was just like wanting it to be spectacular like his. And there was no way. He has a whole team of people creating his website. He has a whole team of people creating his products and programs and services. And he has tons of them because he's been in business for 40, now, 50 years or something. I don't know what it was at the time, but it was more than 40 years. And I remember just when I started to learn about negative self-comparison, I was like, oh, that is what I'm doing. And it's killing me because I'm doing me, I'm in my game, and I got to just play my game from where I'm at. And so just remember that if that's where you're at. And so the action steps here that you want to remember, you're going to start to reframe your money mindset toward, I am committed to doing daily mindset work to reduce my imposter syndrome doubts and build my confidence as an entrepreneur. Now, this is the most important money mindset thing you can do in this zone because you want to start aligning your mindset powerfully for the long haul. Because I believe that 80% of your entrepreneurial success will be due to how you think and feel and believe about yourself and money making and building a business. And so you've got to do daily personal growth and development work, especially focused on confidence and money mindset in this stage. And we'll talk about that in a second. So that's the mindset reframe. Your top 3 priorities in this stage and for the remainder of your business are going to be these 3 things. Okay. And you want to write these down if you haven't downloaded the PDF. Again, if you want to download the PDF, go to thewomanentrepreneurpodcast.com and scroll down just a little way on the page and you'll see business building resources and you'll see the zone of manifestation business scaling roadmap, and you can download the PDF and you'll have all of this information. You can print it or keep it on your computer. So these 3 are really important. Okay. So the top 3 priorities for the rest of your business: daily lead gen. Okay. You can never stop this practice because lead gen is the lifeblood of your business. Now, of course, in later stages, you're going to start to delegate this, but in the beginning, you're probably bootstrapping and you got to learn how to do it anyway. You can't delegate away something that you don't know how to do yourself in terms of talking about your business. You can't have someone come in and go like, I'm going to promote your business, but you don't really know the identity of your business yet. You don't have really a brand identity. You don't totally know what you're doing. So this is going to be you doing it at first. This is networking, interacting on social media, joining groups. I mean, you are talking to every single person you can possibly talk to. And I recommend at first all organic. Do not buy ads when you don't know what you're doing and you don't have something that's scalable, because you will be wasting your money. So, here it could be where you're getting on social media, whatever your favorite social media platform is, and talking to 75 people a day, like nonstop. Or if you prefer in person, find every networking group you can. So for me, I just went on meetups when I was starting. I went on meetups and found entrepreneurial groups or groups where my ideal clients would be hanging out. And I went there and I did about 20 hours a week of this to start my business. And that's how I went from food stamps to 6 figures in my first year. It mostly was through networking. That was the impetus in the beginning. And then I started to find people online. And so you got to get into action. And it's not to say you have to network in person. You can definitely find people online, find them in groups. I know I have a coach friend who did this. He went into Facebook groups and he would just have conversations with his ideal clients, like commenting and sharing information. And then they would be like, hey, let's talk, and have a meeting. And he built his business to 250K pretty fast by doing this. And I don't want to give you the misimpression of like it needs to happen overnight. He had quite a bit of experience that he had already gained. And so he knew what he was doing in a lot of ways. But if you're a new person, you can definitely find people this way. And it just takes practice. It takes putting yourself out there and promoting yourself and getting over that imposter syndrome. And so you want to, so number 1, daily lead gen. Number 2, work with new clients and get results. And that get results part is important. You want to bring in those new clients. So part of your day is going to be spent with daily lead gen. Part of your day is going to be spent working with clients. And the third part is daily content creation. Okay. So the daily lead gen, you need to keep doing forever. At some point you'll start delegating it, but at first you're doing it yourself. You're going to work with new clients. Obviously that's you doing that forever, because you're not going to delegate the work with clients unless maybe you develop a coaching program that other people teach or something like that, but you're still going to be managing your team. And then you're getting results. So in this stage, I want you to get awesome, incredible, amazing results so that you have that social proof. This will help you with your own imposter syndrome and realize that you do know what you're doing. And it will also give you social proof to have referrals and to have evidence that you know what you're doing. And then daily content creation, I want you to choose only one marketing outlet. And this means when I say a marketing outlet, we're talking blog, podcast, or YouTube. If you have other creative solutions, tell me. But these are the top 3 that are the easiest and most accessible. And so just choose the form that is the most fun for you. Do you love writing? Do that. Do it frickin' every day. Do you love podcasting? Podcast and YouTube are a little bigger productions. So let's say you make a video a week or a podcast episode a week. You are consistent. And a blog might be once a week too. But then you're going to take content from each of those 1 a week releases, and you can strip that into 5 posts. So what I did when I started mine was I had podcast and YouTube, but I would promote my podcast originally. And I would create a couple of different posts, like an audiogram, and then I had a little mini videos, and I had, sliders and just all kinds of stuff. And I just started putting it out there. And the reason you must do this is because you've got to build your expert platform and you got to start to get known, and that takes time, and you got to build a community, and that takes time. So you want to start this day 1. Okay. And you're going to choose one social media platform to promote that, whatever it is that you're doing on the blog, podcast, or YouTube. And so that could look like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, all of the above, or not all of the above. Let me clarify, any of the above. And the reason I say one marketing outlet and one social media platform is because it gets overwhelming. There's a lot to do in a new business, and you want to become a master of a few things first before you try to tackle them all. And this is if you're not a huge social media person, just choose one. Okay. and I'm telling you this because I didn't do that, and I wish I had. And so looking back, I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have just forced myself to just do one. I had been told that I needed to do them all, and it was a little overwhelming. And I didn't build any of them huge at first because I was focused on all of them. And in truth, I really loved Instagram. And so for me, my Instagram is my place. If you want to connect with me there, go to NFA Money, and you can scroll through and see, like, since day 1, I have been posting on Instagram, and I love that platform. And then you can go to my Facebook and you can see I barely have any people there because I don't nurture it, because it's not my love. And so just go choose one, the one that resonates most with you at first, and start being really, really, really consistent. Okay. And then on the last thing that you're going to do for action steps in the manic imposter zone is daily money mindset growth learning. And you're going to start doing this from here on out if you're in this zone, and you're never going to stop for the rest of your life. Okay. What this looks like is having a morning routine. You're going to meditate, journal, learn, read books, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, and focus on money mindset mastery. Take online courses, go to workshops, find a coach and or a mastermind to help you break through your money blocks. I have a NFA Money Mama Mastermind. If you're new here, NFA stands for no fucking around. And so we have an awesome family of incredible entrepreneurial women. So if you're looking for a mastermind with coursework and all kinds of amazing stuff, talk to me. So just go to workwithdramanda.com and we can have a chat and see if it's a good fit for you. So workwithdramanda.com and we can see if it's a good fit. Okay. Number 2, the over-deliver and undercharge zone. And this is where 80% of people are stuck. 80% of entrepreneurs move through this manic imposter phase. And they start to go, oh, okay, I'm starting to get a little relief because I'm starting to attract some people and I'm starting to do some work. I'm starting to make a little bit of money. You still might be spending more than you're making, but you're starting to move into this, like, okay, I have some people to work with, and crap, I am working my butt off and I'm usually undercharging. And so what happens here is that you're stuck in the money mindset belief. If I help everyone, and I have tons of offerings and don't charge too much, I'll get lots of clients. So it's this scarcity thinking, and it's a minimization of your expertise. And it's thinking that you've got to serve everybody. And so in this imposter syndrome way, you're overwhelmed. You're taking on too much. You're over learning and saying yes to everything, and you're not charging what you're worth. And the reason you do these things is because of FOMO. You're afraid if you don't say yes to everything, you're going to miss an opportunity. You're afraid that if you charge too much, you'll feel guilty and people will go away, or they won't say yes. And you really want to play with starting to own your expertise in this area and start to get clear on brand identity, because you have scattered brand identity. And what that, I think of that as, I just made up this term because it made sense to me. It's like you have scattered results because you have scattered programs and products, and you're creating way too much, and people don't know what your identity is. They're like, does she do this, or does she do that, or does she do it all? And so no one can refer to you because they don't really know what you do, because you don't really know what you do yet. And don't beat yourself up if this is you. I've seen it happen to myself and pretty much every entrepreneur I've worked with. And 80% of people are stuck here, and some stay stuck here forever, especially if they don't get help from a coach, or I'd say usually if they don't get help from someone who's ahead of them in the game. So you gotta learn how to get out of this stuckness of feeling bad about charging what you're worth, and learning how to narrow your focus to expand your freedom. So the money mindset reframe here is, I am ready and willing to narrow my focus and play with increasing my prices. Okay. So that's going to start to help you fix not charging what you're worth. Scattered brand identity, again, is a symptom. Another symptom is going to be that you're starting to wonder if it's worth it and if you'll succeed. You're going, oh my God, I'm putting in so much energy and effort, but is it going to make money? Because right now in this zone of number 2 of over delivering and undercharging, you are making inconsistent income. Okay. So it's like, it could be feast or famine. It could be some months you have none, some months you have boom. You just don't have systems in place. You're all over the place. And so you're overwhelmed and you're feeling like, oh my God, is this worth? And we don't want to create a prison out of our business. And it's okay if you're here, just get some help, because you don't want to stay stuck here forever, or because you'll just end up throwing in the towel and being like, screw this, it's not worth it. Or you'll get really stuck in overwhelm and stress and burnout, and to the point where you just give up, or you keep in that state, and that's not fun. I see a lot of people get stuck in this state for a long time, and I don't want you to be stuck there. So here's some of the things you can do in action steps to change and start to shift out of this state and move to number 3, or zone number 3. So again, reframe your mindset. I love this term that I use with my people and myself: narrow your focus to expand your freedom. Narrow your focus to expand your freedom. Okay. Most people think, oh, I'm going to help everybody, and then that brings me more money. And the exact opposite is true. Or most entrepreneurs think, oh, I'm going to have 50 products and services, and then, I'll have so many options for people to work with me, but then no one really gets what you're doing. And you can't ever build a solid brand identity or expert platform. So I want you to choose only one program to promote for a year, or until you break the 6-figure mark. One program. And I'm telling you, when I did this in my business, and at first I had a few, and I started hanging out with people from that networking I did, I started getting sales, and I started working with them. And then I was simultaneously putting stuff on social media and doing my podcast and my YouTube. And I was like, I started to get opportunities, and I started to create joint ventures. And I had this one joint venture that they wanted me to work with their people. And I was like, okay, the best strategy here is to create a 12-week program. And I created it. And that program made me $200,000 because I had one program, and it was one thing I sold people to. And that was the program I sold to everybody until I broke through to 6 figures and beyond. And I did not overdo it. I was sharing with my mastermind yesterday that I didn't even have a landing page, a sales page for this program. I literally had a Google spreadsheet doc that had the 12-week outline with, like, week 1 was focused on this, and here's what you would learn, and here's what the action steps would be. And at the bottom, it had like the price. And I mean, it was like simple. And that program made me so much money because the program was awesome and I got people results. So that's what people really care about, right? So I want you to narrow down so you can hyper target one program. One of my favorite mentors I follow has one program, and she's made millions from one program. Millions. That's not to say she doesn't do other things. Like, she gets asked to speak, and she writes books, and she does cool stuff, but she markets one program. Okay. So I want you to really narrow down if you're stuck in the zone, and build your expert platform and increase your brand identity, niche down. And this allows you to charge more. Okay. And the other thing you need to do is treat it like a business. Track everything. Okay. I want you to ask yourself, is the time and money you're spending getting expected results? is the time and money you're spending getting expected results. And I want you to also start a drop, automate, delegate dream list, because once you move into the next phase, you're going to start automating, dropping, and delegating things away that are not the best use of your time. And so start playing in that way of like, ooh, who am I going to drop? Who am I going to delegate to? And maybe in this zone, you might start doing that already. You might find someone, find an intern, there are ways to find people to delegate to in simple ways that don't cost a lot. And delegation should always make you money. And so don't be afraid to delegate. And we'll talk about that in the next phase or the next zone. Of course, you're also, for the action steps in zone number 2, again, the over deliver and undercharge zone, you're also going to continue doing the top 3 priorities. Go back and listen to what that was. Download this PDF so that you have the information and do those 3. And then you're also going to continue with daily money mindset growth learning. All right, now zone number 3, the value yourself more zone. If I could like play music right now, I guess I could have prepped it, but I didn't think of it. Like, angels singing. This is where you start to be like, oh, thank God, I'm starting to make more money. Things are feeling better. In that last zone, remember I said you were making inconsistent income. In zone number 3, where you start to value yourself more, you're getting more stable in your income and it's growing and you're like, yes. Okay. So if you're in this zone, the money mindset belief you have is, okay, I am no longer willing to work this hard. I surrender. I got to up my prices and free up my time. Okay. And the reframe here that you want to keep focusing on is, I am in the process of owning my value. I'll charge more and drop, automate, or delegate everything away that's not aligned with doing exactly what I love to do. So in this zone, the value yourself more zone, you're really starting to move into your zone of genius. You're starting to identify what it is you love to do. You're starting to own your value. You're starting to optimize your time, and you're starting to feel like way less of an imposter. And so you're way less overwhelmed. Okay. So when you start to own your value, what happens is that you understand who you serve best and you start doing what you enjoy doing. You start to have more opportunities come your way easily because people are starting to go, oh, I get what she does. I see it because I see it time and time again. She's consistent with her message and her branding and her program and her product. It could be program, product, or service. I see what she does and she's an expert in that area. So then that way people can start to bring opportunities to you. And so your work gets a lot easier. And in this way, because you have clear brand identity, because you're owning your value and you're basically declaring, here's who I am in my business, then you can start to charge more. Okay, so don't be afraid to charge more as you develop your expertise and as you own your value. And that's just automatically going to happen because you're going to start to go like, oh, I'm worth it. I am worth it. I'm a badass. I get results. Everything, I help people. And you're going to start charging here for results instead of for hour for dollar, like dollar for hour pay, right? So instead of going like, hey, I charge $100 per hour, you're going to start charging $10K for a package or a program because you go, hey, the results I can get you are this blank, whatever it is that you're promising. And it's not like, oh, it takes 5 hours of my time. Instead, you're going like, hey, we work together for 12 weeks for 10K because that 10K program makes you millions, right? And so you want to start shifting your money mindset around letting go of this idea of that you got to work hard to make money and shift into, I get paid for the results that I create for people. And that's how I market it. And that's how I'm not afraid to sell because I know that I can get you results. Okay. So that's what you're starting to feel like in this zone. And that means you're feeling like less of an imposter. And so you're getting way less overwhelmed. And you're also starting to automate and delegate and really optimize your time. Okay. So when you're optimizing your time in this zone, you go, delegation is key, and I'm willing to drop what's not getting results, and I'm automating with systems. Okay. So your action steps in this zone, number 3, the value yourself more zone, are to use your drop, automate, and delegate dream list that you started to create in number 2 to optimize your time. You want to start doing that. You want to start dropping everything that is not aligned with your zone of genius, that isn't aligned with what you love doing. If it can be dropped, right? If it can't be dropped and you don't love it, you're going to start to delegate it. And you're going to automate through systematization, like nurture sequences and emails as an example of this. You're going to continue doing the top 3 priorities from zone number 1 that I showed you. Again, download the PDF for this information. And Instead of you doing it all, you're going to start delegating everything you can, and you're going to drop everything that isn't aligned and implement systems. And so this is where in those top 3 priorities, you're going to start doing a lot of delegation. What this looks like is having VAs. It looks like having people who could check your email, like an executive VA. You could have a social media VA. You could have definitely bookkeeper. You could have, just keep adding to your team, someone who does ads for you, who's really good at it because you have that one product or program or service that you're going to target people and draw them to, and you already know your messaging. And so this is where you can really start to scale and feel better. Feel better meaning enjoy the process much more. You've heard me say, well, you might not have heard me say if you're just new to the podcast. I always say that the NFA money mantra is to work less, make more, and have fun. That's where this really starts to happen. You're like, oh, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. All this work and energy and effort I've put in is starting to work, and I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to enjoy my business. You still have some ups and downs here, but you can see that that's what the seeds you've planted, and that's what you're creating. And this is where you get to then move into your number 4 zone of manifestation. Okay. So before we go there, the last 2 things on the value yourself more zone 3 is to develop brand power. So you want to continue to own your expertise and charge expert prices. You want to be thinking, does a millionaire or 6-figure, whatever mark you're going for, does a 6-figure woman entrepreneur charge this for her services? And if there's a huge gap between what you're charging and what you need to charge, you got to start upping your game in your mind first, right? So again, you're going to continue daily money mindset growth learning. Hire a coach, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, hang out with me in the Money Mama NFA Money Mama Mastermind. Do things like that. Okay, so to get into zone number 4, the ultimate awesome ideal zone, where everything awesome happens and you are a money magnet. I call this your zone of manifestation number 4, and then okay, if you're hanging out with me, this is where I'm taking you, to your zone of manifestation. In your zone of manifestation, you're going to be feeling like, oh my goddess, it's finally working. People are coming my way easily. I'm making more money. I'm enjoying my business. Yes, yes, yes. Rock it out, right? This is where bamboo growth starts to occur. I love the story of bamboos. So with a bamboo, you water them and nurture them for 5 years and nothing happens. 5 years. And then in the next 6 weeks, after 5 years, they grow 80 feet. 80 feet in 6 weeks. Okay. But really, it took 5 years and 6 weeks. And so this is what happens in your business. It's like you got to look back at those years of development that it took to plant the seeds, water and nurture, stay in the game, be consistent, show up daily, keep your head strong, keep your mindset focused on success and long-term prosperity. And then all of a sudden you start to experience this scaling that just feels like, oh my God, where has the money been the whole time? It's just coming so easily and awesomely now. And so this is a fun phase and zone to be in. You're doing what you enjoy with your time, and you're easily attracting clients and opportunities. Yes, that's what we all want, right? Where you're like, oh yeah, I'm a money magnet. Everything feels good. I'm flowing. I'm growing. I'm scaling. I love my business. I love my life. Like, yes, I've made it. I'm a successful entrepreneur, right? You're feeling confident and you're clear and you feel in control of your business, and your money is exponentially growing here. Okay. So in the action step checklist for getting into your zone of manifestation, you are going to keep your mindset aligned with, I love living in my zone of manifestation and being a master of myself and my time. And your number 1 focus from here on out is to bring value to your people through your aligned energy and offerings in the chosen amount of time. Meaning there's no rush, there's no freak out. You are aligned. Your mindset's aligned, your energy's aligned, which makes you a money magnet. And your offers are aligned with you. And when I say in your chosen amount of time, meaning you're working as many hours a week as you choose to. So this is where you really get to create your business from a place of reverse engineering from the design of your life, where you go, okay, this is how many hours I choose to work a week. And then I'm going to reverse engineer my business to fulfill that. And you can do that now because you have built up an audience, you've built up a community, you have built your expert platform, you know your brand identity, and it just gets so much easier in this way. You're also going to continue to consider the value of your time in every action you take. And you're going to ask yourself, is the activity increasing joy and raising energy? And if yes, do it. Is the activity draining or decreasing my energy? If not, drop it or delegate it or automate it, right? Okay. And then be really, really conscious here. Always challenge shiny object syndrome and the desire to create a new offer. And I say this because sometimes in the zone of manifestation, I've seen people feel like they get a little bored. And this is really a self-sabotage issue. I'd say it's a competing commitment, or what Gay Hendricks, the person who coined the term zone of genius, calls your upper limit problem, where all of a sudden you start to think, I'm bored, life is a little too easy, and now I got to kind of mess it up unconsciously to make things messy, sticky, hard, dramatic. Okay. So challenge this. Only create new products, programs, and services if it feels aligned 100%. Okay. And I want you to ask yourself here, could I enhance what's already working? Could you just tweak something a little bit to let go of that boredom feeling and not create something totally new and, stop all the momentum that you've already created. Okay. And I always want you to be asking yourself, is this opportunity 100% yes? And if it is, I say, is the opportunity 100% yes? Because if it's not, it's a hell no. Okay. So everything you're doing in the zone of manifestation and your money magnet zone, you want it to be 100% yes. And then, of course, never, ever, ever forget the importance of your growth journey. This is how you got to the zone of manifestation stage. You mastered your mindset and you keep continuing to up-level your mindset. I don't know that mastery is ever a thing. I don't, when I say you mastered your mindset, it's that you pivot, you have the tools now to notice when you're out of alignment and you quickly adjust. Okay. So the NFA money formula is to recognize, reframe, repeat to reprogram. And when you do that in this zone, you notice really quickly, you go, oh my God, I woke up feeling off today. Okay. Something I'm doing in my business doesn't feel aligned. What is it? And you take the time to reflect on that. So you might get unstuck in an hour where it might take you months. And that's because you've done mindset work. Okay. I'm telling you, mindset work is by far the number one most important thing that you must be doing at every stage of your journey for the rest of your life. And that's why I am a money mindset and manifestation coach, because I want you to succeed. I want you to live in your zone of manifestation and feel really freaking good building your business for the rest of your life. Have it be play. I was talking to my husband this morning. We were meditating and journaling, and I was talking about not scheduling anything on Fridays, which I already do. And so it's like biz dev day. And, and we were talking about like, would we want 3-day weekends or 4-day weekends? And we do that sometimes. And for me, I'm like, I love work. I love my work. It feels like play. So like, I don't want 4 days away from my business. Of course, I don't want to work all the time, but it's like going to a coffee shop in another city and writing my book and hanging out and creating content to help people is fun for me. And so that's what I would be doing on that Friday, so it's like, is that work? I can't really call it work because I really enjoy doing it. And so it's interesting. Your whole mindset changes here in the zone of manifestation. And the only reason that I've been able to get to this place is because I did really intensive mindset work on myself daily, consistently. And when I say intensive, I don't mean like, for 2 weeks straight, I read 50 books. I mean, in the last 4 years, I have read hundreds of books. Every day I listen to podcasts. Every day I watch YouTube videos. Every day I read. I go to workshops. I'm constantly learning how to up-level myself, and I'll never stop because I know that when I'm energetically aligned, I become a money magnet. And that's what I love to teach you to do, to get into your zone of manifestation so that you don't have to stay stuck on any of these first 3 zones. So I'm just going to recap as we wrap up. Don't forget that if you are listening or watching wherever you are, go to www.thewomanentrepreneur.podcast. And here, I'm actually going to stop. I'm going to remove this so if people are watching, they can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so go to the Woman Entrepreneur Podcast, download this PDF that goes along with this episode so that you can see where you're at and you can get the roadmap to help you get into your zone of manifestation. And so here we go. It is these 4 zones. Again, number 1, the Manic-Imposter zone. Number 2, the over-deliver and undercharge zone. Number 3, the value yourself more zone. And number 4, the zone of manifestation. And so this is the zone of manifestation business scaling roadmap, and it's helping you move through these zones at the pace that feels aligned for you to get into a place where you are working less, making more, and having fun, building your business, creating from that place of pure joy and love, and the money is flowing to you easily and exponentially. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So for your action step, go ahead and download this roadmap, the Zone of Manifestation roadmap, and then follow it along. If you didn't during the podcast, go ahead and listen again. You could listen to this many times to help you understand what's going on for you. And then share which zone you're in on Instagram or YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, just share in the comments. If you love Instagram, give me a shout out, take a screenshot of the zone you're in, send it to me, share it, connect with me. The whole purpose that I do what I do in podcasting and on YouTube and in all the content is to help you. So I would love to know how this is helping you, and I would love to get to hang out with you. One easy way to work with me is to go to workwithdramanda.com or hang out with me on a biz breakdown session. So every week I do biz breakdown sessions for the podcast, and you can come on and do one of those with me. It's free coaching for you, and it also exposes your business to more people. So you would just go to thewomanontrepreneurpodcast.com, and you'll see at the top of the page, there's a link that says get your biz breakdown session, and you can hang out with me and I can help you understand where you're at in the zone of manifestation business scaling roadmap, and then give you some tips and pointers to tweak where you're at so that you can get to zone number 4 faster. All right. Woo, that was quite a download of information. Fun for me. Of course, let me know if you have questions, because I know that was a lot. And I can't wait to see you at the next episode. And until then, I'm sending you big, big hugs. NFA money making high five.